It's really intense. Like, I wouldn't have any child under the age of, like, 15 watching.
15.
Welcome to WatchMojo's Pop in the Culture, your weekly entertainment check-in. And me, well, I am your host with the most, Mojo, of course. That's right, it's me, Mr. Hollywood himself, Matt Demers. As always, an amazing show is coming your way. I'll be speaking with some of the stars of this little show called Stranger Things. Maybe you've heard of it. Season 4, Part 1 is upon us. We'll learn all about it. Plus, I've got some of the cast of the Amazon Prime movie Emergency. Yes, all that to say, this is a must-watch episode. But first, we jump into things with our Hollywood headlines. All right, here to break it all down with me is the WatchMojo Lady herself, Rebecca Brayton. Hello, Rebecca.
Hello, Matthew. I assume is what Matt is short for.
You can call me Matthew. You and my mom. Those are the only two. Listen, speaking of mom, I think everybody and their mom is excited for a little movie called Thor, Love and Thunder. I know I am. The character Thor quickly became one of my favorites in the MCU ever since Thor Ragnarok. I love that movie. It was such a vibe. Well, good news. The whole team, especially the director of that movie, is back for this one. We just got a new trailer, Rebecca. And
Sure
yes,
did.
we got more of Jane Foster. You know, that seems to be a big thing here, the return of Natalie Portman. But I was so excited to see Christian Bale. I wanted to see his villainous take on this character, Gorr the God Butcher. Before we get into Christian Bale, what is your thoughts on Thor, Love and Thunder? What's your excitement level, and is he a favorite of yours?
I mean, not to put the female gaze on Chris Hemsworth too hard, but yes, I do enjoy looking at Thor. No, I mean, but seriously, Thor is one of the great characters. He's one of the only like original ones left. Oh no, does that mean he's not gonna make it in this movie? Shoot, did I? Oh my god, because he's on. Think about it, like not Scarlet Witch, Scarlett Johansson is gone.
Yeah, Black
Robert
Widow
Downey Jr. is gone. Chris Evans. I'm naming them by their names. I don't know why. Chris Evans is gone. Anyway, who's left? Thor and Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah. So hopefully you're not jinxing anything, because I do want more.
I did the thing again. And of course, your friend and mine, Hawkeye, who I always forget.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Which I think they made a joke about it in the show.
There you go. But this movie does look good. What's your take on Christian Bale, though? I feel like when we get our first look at him, I was like, oh, he looks a little like Marilyn Manson.
He reminds me of someone in Fury Road. He looks like Nicholas Holt's character in Fury Road a little bit. Okay, I haven't seen Christian Bale be a bad guy in a long time. Personally, I don't know if he has, but I'm looking forward to it, because the first movie I ever saw him in he was the villain, and I just hated him. And then I hated Christian Bale for years because I couldn't separate the two. So very much looking forward, because I think he's gonna eat it.
No, he's one of those actors that no matter what he does, he just brings it. Like, he just literally goes for it, whether it's transforming his body or just throwing himself in the role. And maybe he went a little too intense in that Terminator Salvation film. We won't go there. But here he looks like he's really going to go for it, which I think is great, because the film looks like it has a lot of comedy elements. Looks like it's going to be fun, kind of zany. And then you've got
That's something I've not seen from him before.
Yeah,
if
so maybe
he is able to bring some humor.
It'll be a nice little mix. Was he a villain in American Psycho? Would you say that was a villain role or anti?
That isn't actually the movie I was referring to. The movie I was referring to is Shaft.
Oh.
With Samuel L. Jackson. That was the first time I ever saw Christian Bale. I think it came out in 2001. But anyway, would I say he's a villain in American Psycho? I mean, he's not a good guy, but I think he's more of an anti-hero, and that movie, I think, has so many layers that it's really difficult to know what actually happens in that movie, or if it's more of an internal monologue thing. I don't want to get into it, but lots of layers.
Lots of layers. And this movie looks like it has lots of layers. That's one of the things, the big theme that they're saying in this movie will be what's your purpose? What's your purpose for all the characters? That seems to be the overlying theme. So I'm excited to see, and I'm sure we'll get some more looks as the weeks and months go on leading up to it. The big release date being July 8th in cinemas. Okay, moving on to the small screen, Rebecca. Saturday Night Live, one of the most popular shows still after all these years. It still brings in the numbers, that all-important young demographic. They just had their season finale, rather, and it was the last episode for many of the big stars. Here's who's leaving. Now, there was all these rumors leading up to it. Now it's confirmed. The one that's getting all the headlines is Pete Davidson, right? He's out. A.D. Bryant.
Yeah, so he won't appear in the 5 episodes he would have appeared in per season? Or what?
That's right. He was barely in the show anyways. So he's
no
not.
Disrespect, but he wasn't in the show a lot.
But here's who is always in the show. A.D. Bryant. She's one of my favorites, A.D. Bryant. Kate McKinnon, who, come on. The show kind of...
That's going to be a very, very large hole to fill.
Big. It revolved around a lot of her characters. I loved her send-off, by the way, where her alien abduction character got abducted at the end. So great. And Kyle Mooney. No more Baby Yoda? So what do you think? Those are some pretty big names. Saturday Night Live has gone through these transition periods before. Everyone says, "Oh no, doom and gloom. The show's going to be terrible now." What's your take? What says you?
Am I ever tired of that discourse? The Saturday Night Live. It's a rebuilding season. If you're a hockey fan, it's a rebuilding season. I mean, they might, have missteps next year while they're trying to bring in new talent and find kind of what their vibe is going to be. But I feel like there are still enough fresh faces and veterans hanging around that it's going to be fine. And the thing is, like, no matter how well they actually do, people are still going to be like, it sucks now. Because that's the nature of that show. You think it was funny when you were a certain age, and it has never been funny again.
No, so true. Everyone's got their favorite cast, and that's it, right? There's certain era. But I'm reminded of the time that Andy Samberg left, Abby Elliott and Kristen Wiig all exited. I think it was 2012. This reminds me of that, because those were some big names, Samberg and Wiig, of course, and they survived very well. So I think Saturday Night Live will do just fine. I love some of the people that are still there. Bowen Yang, yeah, I'm very excited. I love me some.
I hope he gets a chance to shine more and kind of bring the weirdness, because there's definitely some. I don't want to say it's weird, but it's like weird for Saturday Night Live.
Oh, I'm excited about it. Remember when he did the iceberg? The iceberg Titanic? No, come on. So great. All right, Rebecca, we're going to end things here with a look at Tom Cruise. Yeah, Tom Cruise. Listen, I'm calling it maybe the year of Cruise, because Top Gun 2 finally coming out. The reviews, not to use the pun here, are sky high. People are praising the film and Cruise himself. He made his big appearance at Cannes, and he got the special Palme d'Or award. There was like an 8-minute standing ovation. So, he's being
I don't know what you have to do to not get a standing ovation at Cannes, though.
I have a question, too. Is someone there with a stopwatch timing it?
I know.
All the headlines are like 7 minutes.
Legitimately, probably.
7-minute standing ovation, 8-minute standing ovation. Like, who's timing this? But he's hanging out with like royalty, Prince William and Kate Middleton. And now we just got to look at Mission Impossible 7, the trailer. I think there was an online leak that kind of pushed it to our screens so we could see it. But Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, not coming out to 2023. But there's lots of intense Tom Cruise running scenes, of course. And he's doing all kinds of stunts at the end.
Did we ever do that? Because we talked about doing, and I think we got a greenlit, so I don't know if it ever got made, top 10 Tom Cruise running scenes ranked by speed.
Yes. Yes, please do. I don't know. What's your take on Tom Cruise? It seems to be having a big year.
Yeah, good for him. I have no take. I have no take. Like,
Okay, let me ask you this then.
I'm glad that he's still, we still have big movie stars.
That's right. Let me ask you this though: will you be seeing Top Gun, or will you be seeing the MI7 next year? Because I will.
Yes, I'll see them for sure. I mean,
the movies are.
Why
the
wouldn't
movies
I see
are.
them? Why don't boycott them? Like,
No, well, the movies are fun. Like, I like he is a big movie star, as you said, but I feel like his movies, has he run out of things to jump off of yet though? Like
he just makes like good movies. Like we've talked about this. I really like a big bombastic action film, and that's the kind of movies he makes. So can't fight City Hall.
I'm reminded now that he's filming a movie next in outer space. So
I know. I was like, that was what I was going to say. He has not run out of things to jump off. He can jump off the moon.
Yeah. So on Earth, he's done it all. Now he's got to go to outer space. So I don't know. I'm curious if other people are excited about this Tom Cruise phenomenon that's resurfaced. So I don't know. His movies are fun. I'm with you there. Rebecca, listen, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for breaking this all down.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Don't go anywhere, though, because me and you, we got to go. We got to take that trip. That trip is beyond the list. All right, Rebecca, here's what we do. We dig deep in the vast archives of WatchMojo. We pluck out an old top 10 list. This one's actually pretty recent.
This came out like last week.
Yeah, but listen, I'm such a movie guy. I do film reviews. So this one I watch right away. I do encourage people to watch it, but I'm going to break it down a little bit more with you. What does that mean? Well, we get to give our own personal opinions. You narrate, Rebecca, but we don't know exactly what you think. So now's your chance to chime in. It's the 10 movies no one will let you criticize. You can't criticize these movies. And I've been there. Listen, I've been there at parties. Someone's talking bad about a movie. Someone chimes in. It's like an attack. If they say something bad about one of your favorite movies, it's like it's on. Gloves are off. So I want you to be honest, because I will too. And I was just telling you before we were recording that I usually tend to go with, like, I like a lot of the popular movies. So I don't know if I will be disagreeing with the greatness of some of these on the list. But I will be honest, and I'll tell you if I was like, what about you?
We'll see. I'll try to gauge how much trouble I'll get in if I tell the truth.
No trouble. No trouble. Okay. This one, number 10. Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981. Indiana Jones. I will say that I know people that this is the movie that made them fall in love with cinema. This is the movie that they talk about movies being an escape, taking you someplace, to your happy place, if you will. And this is the movie that did it for them. And I will not disagree with that because I had so much fun. I love Indiana Jones. I love this movie in particular. Some of the later ones, mixed. What says you? Raiders of the Lost Ark. Can we start nitpicking some things here?
I mean, I'm sure there are things to nitpick, but on the whole, I think it's low on the list, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I don't see because it's such a I think the main premise of this list is that these are just really beloved movies that remind a lot of people of their childhoods, and by criticizing them, it feels like you're tearing down their entire belief system to a point. So the argument, I don't see what.
Well, some people argue that this movie is just too cheesy. So cheesy.
What's wrong with cheesy? Look, okay, here's the thing. Here's my hot take for the day. When we WatchMojo, or me personally, use the word cheesy, I do not put a negative connotation to the word cheesy. I like cheese, the food and the vibe. Okay, I think we need to get back to cheese. And what is cheese anyway?
Cheese can be good if it's done right. I get it. Yeah. But sometimes I think when it's wrong is if you're expecting something different and they give you, or they throw in too much cheese. Like, I'm trying to think of a movie that had too much cheese, and I'm reminded of the early 2000s Spider-Man films. Okay. there was a little too much
Are they
cheese.
on this list? Because I feel like they should be.
Oh, are they? There was listen. So I'm being honest. I love me some Tobey Maguire and the Sam Raimi films, but if it was up to me, I would take out some of the cheese, some of those.
I disagree with that. I think that's what makes them charming, and I think that's a step forward in comic book movies. And I think that one was trying to pay homage. I don't know why we're talking about this movie. It's not even on the list. But I think they were trying to pay homage to comic books more. And so to me, it wasn't like cheese necessarily. It was that, I mean, well, it's Sam Raimi, first of all, because that's just his overall vibe. I enjoyed that. It's charming to me.
Yeah, okay. See, Sam Raimi, he did the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I think, and here, this movie, I would say only a little bit of cheese, because you're right, it is Sam Raimi. It's got to be a little bit of that humor in there.
I mean, the guitar, the porno guitar, that was cheesy.
Yeah, a little bit, but I loved it. Okay, moving on to a movie that I do love. I don't know what anyone's going to criticize about Ghostbusters, 1984. What could people possibly say? Rebecca, you're with me on this, right? Ghostbusters?
Yeah, I will not be hearing any words against my friends, the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I am people. It me. The people won't let you criticize. It me. I am people.
Although...
Okay, what's the argument?
Well, I'm just going to... There's one scene that comes to mind that I feel like it was out of place. Do you know the scene I'm talking about? Dan Aykroyd's character gets visited by a female ghost.
They cut it out on TV. Like, that was a scene that when they used to run it on TV, they would just cut it out.
I for good reason. This is a family movie.
Yeah, but I didn't know what was going on. I'll be honest with you.
It's one of those scenes that, through adult eyes, you're like, what is happening? No, I don't know. I think a lot of it now is whether it holds up as far as the effects look dated, but...
I do not find the effects look dated. I don't know. People keep saying this to me, and I'm like, where? I think it has revolutionary effects, especially for a comedy movie. I don't know. I come at me with your
no
where you're telling me they look bad, because
I'm not.
See it.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you. I love, and it's some of those practical effects that I love, like the slime. That's a whole thing that I love about the movie. So yeah. All right, number 8 is Fight Club. I'm not a diehard Fight Club guy. I did enjoy the movie, but yeah, I could probably pick a few things apart about this. What says you?
This is where I'm going to get in trouble.
It's the cult favorite. The fan base is very fanatical. Yeah.
To be clear, I will start by saying I enjoy the movie Fight Club. I think a lot of people miss the point of the movie Fight Club.
Yes.
And that is my big problem with it. I think it kind of I think a lot of people fail to see. I think they latch on to the Brad Pitt character a bit too much as a savior and a Jesus figure, where I think that is foolhardy, let's say.
You're not wrong, and you know why?
I took a whole class about this, by the way. I actually have written essays in university about Fight Club. It was like a gender studies English class, and yeah.
On a side note, I took a class in university on The Sopranos. I'm serious. It was Italian heritage, and it was only about The Sopranos. I love that class. So great. But going back to Fight Club, you're not wrong, and they did a Fight Club sequel comic book. So the creator, the guy that penned the actual book that it was based on,
Chuck Palahniuk.
There you go. He did a comic book series, and it was based upon that theory that people had misguided.
Yeah, I'm not making it up either. Like, the guy who wrote it said that. I'm just kind of reiterating that. Yeah. And my issue is that it's dangerous as a result. You know what I mean? If you miss the point and you kind of buy into that anarchy thing a bit too much, it's problematic.
Yeah, I feel like for a certain group of people, that was kind of like their first movie that tried to open their eyes or
and again, to be clear, I like the movie.
The twist ending was interesting. Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to a movie that was absolutely terrible, and I don't know why people love it so much. 1985 gave us a real trash bag of film that made up a film called Back to the Future. It's so awful. This movie, no one should. Why are we still talking about this movie? Mm-hmm. Rebecca?
I have to go now. I'm kidding. Okay, well, what do people criticize about it? What is there to criticize? I literally don't know.
It's beloved. It's beloved, and I am one of them. I really do. And I rewatched it recently. It's on, there's a bazillion streaming services, so I found it on Amazon Prime Video, whatever they're calling it. And I rewatched it like a couple weeks ago, and I was like so into it. I was like, yes, this movie is so great for a reason. What do people not like about it?
I don't know. I mean,
is it the whole like?
I don't know. Incest? I don't.
I was gonna say, is it that storyline?
It's not really criticism. It does happen. It's right out there in the open.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody in the movie liked it either.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. That storyline was kind of creepy.
It's weird. I mean, like, legitimately, it's weird, but whatever. Again, it's not like anybody in the movie enjoyed it. Like, it just happens. They move on, and there are things. Look, after seeing a movie too many times, I don't know if this happens to everybody, but it happens to me. You can definitely start to pick things apart. But
easily.
I'm allowed to do that because I absolutely love this movie. I don't think everybody's allowed to do it.
You know,
it's like that thing where it's like, I can say that about my family, but you can't. It's like that.
There you go. This movie was perfect casting, by the way. Like I feel like anybody other than Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, those two together.
Have you seen the scenes that they shot with Eric Stoltz before?
Oh, you told me this. No, I haven't. I haven't.
Yeah, it wasn't a funny movie.
Yeah.
That was like, everybody knew it was the wrong vibe. That's why they originally wanted Michael J. Fox. He couldn't get out of his family ties commitments, and so they cast Eric Stoltz, and the Jennifer character was actually going to be played by Jan from The Office, whose name is, I know this. No.
Really?
I lost it, yeah. Anyway, but then they had to recast her because she's too tall for Michael J. Fox. That's a whole other thing. And his skateboarding double was actually Tony Hawk, but again, too tall for Michael J. Fox, so they had to get somebody else. I don't know who they got, but obviously not as famous as Tony Hawk.
You mean that Michael J. Fox wasn't on the hoverboard for real? Like,
no, I don't know about the hoverboard, but the skateboarding.
The skateboarding on the back of the...
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I think Back to the Future is great.
I'm just saying the scenes with Eric Stoltz, they just don't have that that humor to them. They were just serious, and everyone's like, "This movie's not going to be good. We have to do something."
Okay, number 6 is Pulp Fiction. Yep. If you talk to a lot of people, ask them their favorite movie, a lot of them will say a Quentin Tarantino movie. More times than not, that Quentin Tarantino movie will be Pulp Fiction. 1994. Listen, I love me some Quentin Tarantino. This is probably one of his best, if not the best, although I am a big fan of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the recent one. What's your take? I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought it visually was fantastic. I love the kind of the ending that we got was so not what I was expecting. I loved it.
Okay, Pulp Fiction. I like.
Wait a second. Are you criticizing? You're criticizing my.
No, I believe I just went, If that's criticism, then call me Roger Ebert. I don't know.
Them fighting words. No, what's your take on Pulp Fiction, though? What do people
I
not
like
like?
Pulp Fiction. I don't know what people don't like about it. I think a lot of people don't really like very violent films. And there's a lot of shocking violence in that film. But I'm not one of those people. Sorry. So I'm not offended by it in any way. I think, Tarantino's dialogue is great. I don't know. I kind of take everything in that movie with a grain of salt, and I'm able to find humor where I think it's intended for you to find humor.
Yeah.
Like, totally. Where they blow off Marvin's face.
Yeah, totally. No, you're so right. Some people don't. They don't find that the humor parts, and they're just. But one thing I'm reading too is that some people were put off by the whole jumbled narrative, right? It kind of jumps around, and it's people don't.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
mean, so watch it again. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't. Yeah, what do we want? What do you want us to do? Put it together for you? Like, no.
yeah, I know. Well, did you like Memento then? Like, there. I mean, I don't know. Not every movie can be spoon fed to you.
Yeah, for
How
sure.
about that?
Okay, number 5 is The Matrix. I know lots of people, and especially people that work at WatchMojo, that you can't say anything bad about The Matrix because they will just come after you. 1999, it changed the game in a big way. I obviously did a rewatch leading up to the recent reboot, if you will. I love the first one. I think it still holds up today. I think it's fantastic. The the 2 sequels that we got, maybe not so much, but I don't see how people can come after the original Matrix. No.
I don't really see it either. And there's a lot that stands up in the other 2. Well, technically 3, but let's just talk about the trilogy. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious what people would say to criticize it. Because it's just one of those kind of universal stories, like the Jesus type story, like there's a savior and just told in modern times, and the effects hold up, the acting, like the casting in that movie, top tier.
Change the game. Change the game.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't really know what you would say about it.
No, I don't know. I'm not. No.
But again, it's one of those things, like if you do, people are going to be mad.
All right, number 4, Avengers Endgame. Yeah, no, we're in the day and age where Marvel fanboys and fangirls will come to your house with torches if you say bad things, especially critics. Like, it's kind of scary if you point out bad things about movies. Avengers Endgame, though, I think did a really great job of tying up so much story, and they did it really well. It was almost a love letter in ways. They went back in time, and I don't know. I thought it was really well done. So I give kudos to Marvel for pulling off Avengers Endgame. I don't think there was a movie of that scope. So I think they couldn't have done better. Was it too long?
I agree. I think whatever. I think it's a strange movie insofar as I don't think there's any exposition at all. It's just all action because like you have to look at the MCU as one movie overall kind of thing, I guess. And so this is just the climax part. So that's a bit strange if you're looking at it on its own. But there's too much action. What will I do?
But you can't. I think too, people that didn't watch all the movies can't go, because usually with a sequel you can usually go in blind and still enjoy it. I think a lot of people were like, well, I didn't see, do I need to watch all the movies? And it was kind of like, yeah, maybe. But
I don't think you need to watch all of them. But I think if you go into a movie like Endgame and haven't seen at least, let's say 5 movies, specific movies, you kind of have no right to criticize it because you haven't seen the full movie, basically.
Exactly. No, it's true. Number 3. Oh, we're getting into some big territory here about movies that you probably shouldn't say bad things about. Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, 1980. Well, this is interesting. I thought maybe it would have been Star Wars Episode 1. Or, sorry,
You can't criticize any movies
What's what
in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, all the episodes are jumbled to me. What was the first one? 1977. Is that episode?
It's 4.
4. Okay. Yeah,
so
which
this
I thought
is the
was
second one, technically.
So this is the second one. Yeah, no, the second. I would say, in my humble opinion, that yes, the second Star Wars movie, that being Episode 5, for those following along at home, is probably my favorite of the bunch. So I can see why people would get steadfast if you came at it, but I don't know. I mean, these movies aren't necessarily for everyone. I know people that don't like Star Wars, no matter what movie they're watching. It's just not for them. But
I've learned my lesson about Star Wars criticism because there was a time that no one liked the prequels, which is 1, 2, 3, the ones that came out, early millennium, end of the 90s. And these movies are just very important to people. And this one, I think, is universally regarded as the best one because, again, it's kind of it's not the same. It's not in the same position as Endgame, but I think A New Hope has a lot of the exposition, whereas Empire Strikes Back has a lot more of the action and kind of the twists and more of the emotional stakes, let's say.
This one was darker. And it paid off a lot from the first one. Yeah, no, but the prequels, so what happened? You said something bad about the prequels and people came at you?
Not me personally, but it doesn't matter what I do personally. If I said it on WatchMojo, I have said it personally, but anyway. No, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, we did a video, and it was reasons the prequels are hated. And that was, I don't know what year it was in, but that was the first time we had really kind of spoken negatively on the prequels and gotten a lot of blowback about it. And sure enough, I think what happened was that the people who had seen it as kids, and I think when you see a movie as children, you're able to kind of overlook their flaws a lot more, hence this list. I think a lot of those people were kind of old enough to be our viewers at that point, and they were not willing to hear anything against them. So,
yeah, but I mean, as movies go, they're not so good. I said it. Number 2, the prequels I'm talking about.
I am gonna stay out of it. How about that?
I'll take the heat. Number 2 is The Lord of the Rings, specifically The Return of the King. You can't say anything bad about The Lord of the Rings. I don't know. I jokingly said earlier about Endgame being too long. Let's face it, the Lord of the Rings movies were so long. Does Peter Jackson?
I'm not sure I have made it through the first one without falling asleep.
I feel like Peter Jackson's probably allergic to editing machines. I don't know what's happening here. They're just so long. No, they're great. They're great movies.
I'm not saying they're not great. I'm just saying I don't sleep well.
Break it up. One of those movies that you watch takes like a week. No, I'm not going to say anything bad about them, but I think just like Star Wars, they're not for everybody. These fantasy movies, if you're not into it, you're not into it. And it's a big time commitment if it's not your cup of tea. Yeah. But as far as epic fantasies go, I mean, Lord of the Rings is probably number 1. Well, Game of Thrones fans will probably have something to say as well. I'm going to skip to number 1 because I got a lot to say because it is one of my favorite movies. The Dark Knight. Don't say anything bad. Don't say anything bad about The Dark Knight. I love The Dark Knight, Rebecca. What's wrong? This is one of those movies that I've seen the most in theater, that I spent money to keep going back. I rarely do that. See a movie more than once in theaters. This is one I saw upwards of 5+ times because I loved it so much. The performance is everything, but it is a lot of times. I mean, what do people not like about The Dark Knight?
Why? A lot happens in that movie.
Yes, and it's all great.
Okay, so here's my thing about The Dark Knight. I think it's a great movie. No disrespect to The Dark Knight. I think it did a lot of great things for superhero cinema, and it definitely stands out as one of the, if not the best superhero movie of all time, or at least the 21st century. That being said, they go to China in that movie, do they? There's a whole part of that movie that I'm this happens in this movie. I'm sure I've said this 15 times, but I just there are parts of that movie where I'm every time I watch it, I'm I thought this was in a different movie. It's just
there's a lot of movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I think it could be a tighter plot, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you could probably say that too about Nolan's the other Nolan Batman movies too. I think but I love them, and I think The Dark Knight, man, I'll watch this any day of the week. This is one that I don't know, I'm not hearing it. Don't tell me you don't like The Dark Knight. We'll fight.
I didn't.
We'll fight in the parking lot, Rebecca. Bring your gang.
Okay.
We'll be what was that movie?
Anchorman?
Yes, you bring your gang, I'll bring mine. We'll be on horses. No,
I'll bring a trident.
just everything about it was so great. I love the tone. I love the direction was great. I love the performances. I mean, Heath Ledger still blows me away to this day what he did with that character. Yeah, no, I loved it.
I think there could be more cheese in this movie.
No, if there was, you don't do cheese in a Batman movie.
What?
Not a modern.
Whoa. Okay, wait. We gotta talk. We have to talk. We have to take a pause here. Have you not seen the Tim Burton and or Joel Schumacher ones?
Okay, Burton didn't have too much cheese. The Schumacher ones were a cheese fest, and look what it did. It almost derailed that entire franchise.
Okay, look. Okay, here's my hot take. Batman Forever is great.
It's okay. Too much cheese. Too much cheese. For me, Batman, the darker the better with Batman. It could literally be like a black screen with like shadows, and I'd be happy.
So I bet it. I'm one of those people. Over the super dark superhero movies. Like,
but
that's why I always hated Batman. I don't hate Batman, but like I always liked Superman because he wasn't like all broody, and then they made him broody, and now I'm like, well,
you're right. You're right, because not every superhero needs to be dark, but Batman does. And you're right. Don't make Superman dark and broody.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. We're all riled up. We're all riled up. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, WatchMojo. I'm sure they started a lot of fights with this list, but we do encourage people to rewatch it. Rebecca, regardless of your hot takes, it's been a lot of fun having you here on the program today. Thank you so much, as always.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. It is time for our, it's our Mojo Chat of the Week with the kids from Stranger Things. Check this out. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Good.
Listen, I got to make sure I'm not dreaming because I've been waiting for season 4 of Stranger Things. Guys, it is coming. It is upon us. And I can't wait to break it down with some of my favorite cast members from the show. Okay, I don't want spoilers. I hate spoilers, but you know what I love? A good tease, okay? And here's what I want you to do. I want you to tease what we can expect in one word. Maybe that word doesn't mean anything to anybody until they watch the show, but you give me that one word tease. Caleb, I'm going to start with you, and maybe it has to do with your character. Give me a one word tease.
I gotta try to think of this one too before it gets to me. Dang. I'm gonna say the worst answer, and everyone's gonna say some answers. Watch. I'm gonna just say traitor.
Oh traitor?
My God, man.
I'm going
Hey,
to
I'm
say
in. Sadie.
clocks.
Ooh, okay. Clocks. No one knows what.
You see.
We don't know what that means. Priah, what's your?
Always that.
Oh, this is hard. I know.
It could be anything, any word.
Yeah.
You can make something up. They won't know.
We'll be waiting for it. It might never happen.
I kind of like Sadie's answers, but I'm not gonna copy and say clocks. I'm gonna say TikTok. Like
TikTok. Now I'm expecting stuff with clocks. Gaten, what's your tease?
Should I do another clock related one?
I know.
Time. Oh man. I'll just say, you know what I'll say? I'll say hellfire.
Ooh, okay.
Oh my
Now
gosh. I'm done.
it's got save the best for last. That's what we do. We save the best for last. Listen, I've got a few episodes to preview, and I'm having such a great time with this. I love this show. I love everything about it. What I do love is that we're still in the 80s, baby.
Still there.
You guys are rocking some
little.
awesome hairstyles. Okay, as actors, tell me, because you weren't born in the 80s, is there something that you absolutely love, wardrobe-wise, hairstyle, technology, or something that you absolutely hate?
Man. I love corduroys with a fiery passion.
Corduroys.
I love corduroys with a fiery, burning passion, and I want all of them. Is that more 70s? That's 80s.
No, that's 80s. I've never worn.
It transitioned.
Fell into the 80s.
Yeah, I wore some corduroys in the first season, so I'm gonna go with that. Yeah.
I love my flat top this season.
Yeah,
Shout out to my
word
barber
up.
Tariq. Got
So
you, bro. I love my flat top this season. Yeah, that was cool.
I'm a hair guy, and I was jealous of all the hairstyles. Priya and Sadie, what about you? Fashion, technologies from the 80s that you would keep or toss?
Definitely the fashion, but I will also say the music of the 80s. Like, oh my gosh, I love it. It's so good.
I'll toss the hair and the fashion.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
hair
keep the music.
hair can be a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so people love the show because it mixes all the different genres that you would expect in a TV show. You got your comedy, your drama. What can we expect in this one? Is it going to be more dark? Is it going to be more horror elements or more comedy? Is there one more than the other? I don't know if Caleb, you want to tackle that one?
I feel like it's definitely horrifying. It's definitely is gory for sure. It's mysterious, but I think it really attacks it's really intense. Like I wouldn't have any child under the age of like 15 watching.
15.
Yeah. No, I was like looking at it and I was like, do I really want to watch it again?
12-year-old.
I know some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, even 12 though. Like I remember if I was 12 and I watched this,
My
I was
sister was watching it. She held up.
You're
She's a
your
badass,
sister's
though.
brave. I'm scared of your sister.
You should.
I
be.
watched Chucky when I was like 5, so I think. Listen,
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry to hear that.
use your
Like,
use your judgment at home, but definitely do watch it. Get excited, folks. Season 4 is upon us. Hey, thank you guys so much. I'm a big fan, and this has been a lot of fun.
thanks,
Aw,
man.
thank you.
All right, now here's a chat with some of the cast members of the Amazon film Emergency. The movie is titled Emergency, and boy, let me tell you, it is a fun ride. You guys should all check it out, and I can't wait to break it down. I got some of the cast members here. Let's talk about what it was like to be in this movie, in the feature, because I can sense that the dynamic here between you three is great. Am I wrong about that on set? Were you guys having a good time? And be honest.
Oh,
No, we
yeah,
hate each
yeah.
other.
We actually, that's the best acting that we did.
Yeah, I can't
the
stand
film is
anybody.
cool, but us acting, even now, no, I'm playing. I think it was really easy and smooth to shoot with Sebastian and Donald because of the people that they are in general. You know what I'm saying? The general makeup of these two is beautiful. So the movie wasn't nothing but a pleasure to be a part of. And also the script, then also being able to work with Carrie again. It was just checking up all the yes boxes. And it didn't have no no's. And that was scary because sometimes when stuff is too good, there's always one bad thing that just okay. But this was actually just a beautiful flower of a project to work on, to be honest.
Sebastian, what about you? What was your experiences?
It was fantastic. It's rare that you have like an ensemble where everyone is present, not only for like the funny moments and the silly moments, but also has like an availability and like a generosity in those really intense, really dramatic moments where we're all like taking care of each other and trying to make each other's performance as good as it can be. You know what I'm saying? I'd say the only no is shooting night shoots for 2 months, crawling through the woods. I mean, that's
man.
Other than that, it was fantastic.
Yeah, there's a genuine care that we all have collectively as cast members, as friends, and the crew was fantastic. We kept everything kind of light and really silly. So I hope that you get a chance to see the behind the scenes stuff. I mean, we're always just kind of like playing around and like doing little things, but then, we handle our business when it's time to shoot. So yeah, this was my favorite, by far my favorite project, my favorite cast.
Wow.
I say best cast, best crew.
Amazing. Well, hey, listen, it translates. I love watching you guys do your thing. And I don't want to give any spoilers, but listen, we laugh, but then things get pretty serious at some parts. This is taking place a night of partying, right? College time. I've been there. I've had some pretty crazy stories. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you guys at a party that you can tell us? Anything?
At a party?
At a party.
Is that legal? No, I'm playing.
That's a complicated.
Nothing that'll get you in trouble.
No. I think not at a party, but the wildest thing is me just waking up at someone else's house, tucked in, very nice and neatly. Like I didn't feel like I was taking advantage of anything like that.
That's not that. That's very cozy. That's a nice.
But I was in London. I'm not gonna say that happened in America. That happened in London. So
no. When I was in college, we lived in like a converted garage. It was this tiny but like strange apartment. and we would have these huge parties, people out in the street, the floors are like sticky. It was a very, but it was, you look like you think back on those years, you're like, oh, so much fun. And now you look at a photo, you're like, damn, how did I live there?
Yeah. Why would the floor sticky?
You know why.
Donald, anything?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about my time in New Orleans and like my first Mardi Gras and what that ended up being. The hand grenades. Yeah. You think that it's like a little like dream, and it's not. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I remember me and my buddy Michael, we just caught all of these beads and we ended up going to some bar and they let us like on the little rooftop because we had a neck full of beads.
Oh,
yes, sir.
And they like let us
on work for them beads.
But we didn't. We just caught them from the parade.
Yeah, I'm so sure.
So then we're walking out. I just remember my neck hurting for like 2 days because I'm walking around.
What were
like
you
this.
wearing when you caught these beads?
Just a shirt and pants and
No
I
pants.
thought- no pants, just
not
a
Winnie the
shirt.
Pooh, just like
Look like Donald Duck.
That's listen. That's what I'm talking about.
Sorry.
I would love to party with you guys, and I know everyone else there would love to watch this movie. So definitely do it. It's called The Emergency. Hey, this has been so much fun. Thank you guys so much. All right, well, that's going to do it for this edition, everybody. Big thanks to everyone over there at Stranger Things. And of course, the cast of Emergency. Rebecca Brayton, the WatchMojo Lady, always brings the fun. And a big thanks going out to you for watching and listening. We'll see you next time. I've been Matt from WatchMojo, popping that culture.